In just a matter of weeks, tensions between China and Japan have escalated to a level rarely seen in recent years. Why? Japan crossed a red line that China has long deemed absolutely inviolable. Taiwan, an inalienable part of China's territory. And China is responding loud and clear. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said this Monday that the conditions for holding a China-Japan ROK summit meeting are not yet ready after Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's recent remarks on Taiwan undermined the foundation and atmosphere needed for trilateral cooperation. In short, no trust, no summit. What's wrong? The controversy began on November 7th. During a parliamentary hearing, Takaichi claimed that the Chinese mainland's use of force on Taiwan could constitute a survival-threatening situation for Japan, implying the possibility of Japan's armed intervention in the Taiwan Strait. Why China is outraged? Because this marks the first time since Japan's defeat in 1945 that Japan has expressed an intrusive intent to intervene militarily in the Taiwan question, and the first time Japan has issued a threat of force against China, openly challenging China's core interests. For China, this isn't just a policy debate, it strikes a historical nerve. Taiwan was seized and colonized by Japan for half a century after Japan launched a war of aggression against China in 1894 to 1895. The Cairo Declaration and the Potsdam Proclamation, the bedrock of the post-war order, stated unequivocally that Taiwan must be restored to China. To understand Beijing's reaction, history matters. Japan has a record of repeatedly invoking security and national survival to justify preemptive wars abroad. Before its 1931 invasion of northeast China, and again before its 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor, Tokyo spread narratives of an existential or imminent crisis. How is China responding? The remarks drew immediate backlash in Beijing. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Chinese Embassy in Japan, the Ministry of National Defense, and the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council all issued statements condemning Japan's remarks. Fu Cong, China's permanent representative to the United Nations, sent a letter to UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. He stressed that Takaichi's remarks constitute a grave violation of international law and the basic norms governing international relations, seriously undermine the post-war international order, and represent an open provocation to the more than 1.4 billion Chinese people and to the peoples of other Asian countries that once suffered from Japanese aggression. This week, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said, "It is shocking for a sitting Japanese leader to openly send a wrong signal of attempting to intervene militarily in the Taiwan question, saying what should not be said and crossing a red line that must not be touched." He warned that if Japan persists in its own way and keeps making the same mistakes, all countries and people who advocate justice have the right to re-examine Japan's historical crimes and have the responsibility to resolutely prevent the resurgence of Japanese militarism. In Japan, several former prime ministers are also voicing concern. Shigeru Ishiba said, "Since diplomatic normalization in 1972, every Japanese government has handled relations with China with extreme caution." He said the current leadership must fully recognize Japan's long-held position and act with prudence going forward. Yoshihiko Noda said Takaichi needs to provide an explanation to the Chinese side and help repair ties through dialogue. Yukio Hatoyama said in a post, quoting Confucius, "To make a mistake and not correct it, this is what is called truly making a mistake." As tensions rise, the question is no longer whether the China-Japan relationship can stabilize. The key lies in whether Japan can uphold the commitments made since the normalization of diplomatic relations with China over the past 50 years, as well as whether the 80-year post-war international order can be maintained. Equally crucial is whether Japan can avoid stepping even further across a line that Beijing sees as absolutely non-negotiable.